Here's a film with Klaus Kinski that I'd never heard of. Now, Klaus Kinski made a lot of movies over the years, so for there to be a movie of his that I haven't heard of, I would expect that. This is a new film out from, well, it's a movie from 1988, but it's new to me. It's newly released on Blu-ray from Severin Films. It's entitled NOSFERATU in Venice. The original on-screen title is "This film has the power, like Dracula, to cloud my mind." The original title on screen in this film is Vampires in Venice. It has an odd feel to it. It feels like maybe it was made for TV or cable in Europe, Italian production. It starts off feeling very cheap and cheesy, and that never stops. But then Christopher Plummer shows up as like a Van Helsing type character. And Donald Pleasence shows up. And some of the acting in the film is actually quite good. Some of it's actually very bad. But Kinski is Kinski. He plays this Nosferatu, trying to, saying Nosferatu is really kind of trying to set this up as a sequel to the Werner Herzog Nosferatu that Kinski had starred in several years earlier. I don't know how much that was the intention when they made this or not. Maybe they were just making it with the intention that he was in both movies and maybe people would connect the dots. But Kinski is awakened by somebody who does a seance and sort of summons him to being alive again, and he makes his way to Venice during Carnival to try to possess a virgin or take the blood of a virgin or do something with it. He's looking to get killed, basically. He's suffered walking the earth for so many hundreds of years or decades. It's not really clear how long he's been a vampire as far as I know. And he just wants to die, so he's tortured. He's very Kinski, let's put it that way. And Christopher Plummer's trying to kill him, and Pleasence is there being hysterical in multiple senses of the word. And it's really bad, but it's funny. It's like very entertaining because it's nicely shot and the locations are gorgeous. The locations, I always say, you find a good location in a movie and shoot it decently, that does so much work for you. So the locations are gorgeous. So if nothing else, you get a trip to Venice, and you get copious nudity, and you get Kinski, like this weird like hair metal Kinski with like really big like white snake hair going on, and you get some really interesting and ridiculous moments of violence of people being thrown out or jumping out windows, and an old lady getting impaled on a fence, and on and on and on. This was ridiculous. Why I haven't heard of this film before was surprising to me. I've read so many books for so many years, Psychotronic Encyclopedia Film and Psychotronic Magazine and all good Video Watchdog and all this other stuff. Maybe I did read about it and it just never made an impression, but boy howdy, what a ride. Nosferatu in Venice, yeah. I highly recommend it, actually. It's not a good movie, but it's just ridiculous and silly. And maybe the best thing about it, actually, is beyond the film, which looks about as good as expected. It looks like it was done for cable in that era. There's a feature-length documentary about like Klaus Kinski's final years where they interview a bunch of people who worked with him on these various European productions and just the hell that he brought with him to these productions. How he would just like decide he didn't want to do certain things, and the director had to just deal with it because they had invested all this money in getting this name actor in their film, and you kind of need to retain him. So they would indulge his whims and grit their teeth and put up with all his ridiculous, insane demands. And it is a story almost as ridiculous as the film you paid to see on this disc, this documentary about Klaus Kinski. I was laughing out loud. I was shaking my head. I was just saying, oh my God, these poor production people for so many years working with this guy toward the end. I'd say if you haven't already seen this documentary, I'm not clear if this was available separately somewhere else earlier, but it was phenomenally entertaining. And really, Nosferatu in Venice objectively is a bad movie, but it's a very entertaining movie. This is what I always say for my mentality. It's the kind of movie to get together on a Friday night with a pizza and a bunch of orange soda and watch with friends and frankly laugh at and marvel at the fact that somehow this production got Christopher Plummer, who's good in this movie. I don't think Christopher Plummer ever didn't try. And Pleasence is the same year he did Halloween 4, actually. Donald Pleasence is there being hysterical, and Nosferatu in Venice, available now on Blu-ray from Severin Films. Thank you, Severin Films, for bringing Nosferatu in Venice into my life.